All right, guys, there are 11 of the glass rhinestone sets up left for today. They're only $5, and there's 11 of them left at the start of this live. Okay, so I'm just heads up on that. And then there are the squeeze bottles that we used to do the snow globe earlier. I put these 50% off today. There she is. Now, you know, I like to store my snow globes upside down so that all the glitter is there. So when we go to make our drink, we flip it over. So it's got a mystery liquid in there. I don't know what it is. Whatever it is going milky colored when it comes in contact with this micellar water, which is actually kind of cool. I do like the way it looks. It's kind of a bummer because it makes it to where you can't see any of the little gems that are in there with the milkiness in there. But I don't know if that's just because I shook it up really hard or before I left this afternoon, after I turned off the live, and then I was like, oh, I can shake this up, shook it up. And then it turned like this milky color. Now, I don't know if that's permanent, if that's just a whole bunch of micro bubbles in there that are making it do that. I don't have my glasses on. So I'm not even sure what that liquid is. I think it's some sort of oil. My guess is that it's a mineral oil, but it could be, I think it's a mineral oil or baby oil. I think it's a mineral oil. It's definitely not a baby oil. No, but I can't. What was the other one? Mineral oil, or what did I say it could possibly be? No, I'm pretty sure it's mineral oil. And then this is micellar water. I call it micellar water. Okay. It's a mystery liquid. Sorry, guys. It was in that squeezy and I didn't know what it was. And so we just squeezed it in there. Okay. But see, so all that glitter settles. And this is like, that's why I like to store them upside down. Because then when I want to use them, I just turn them upside. I don't shake them. I just turn them right side up. And then that glitter just starts naturally falling. Now, obviously, it's going to have a fast fall because it's not a thick mix. It's not like vegetable glycerin. I would normally do heavier vegetable glycerin, so there's more suspension and it falls slower. But it's doing its thing. But anyway, super fun. So we're going to finish this one out. I actually like the fogginess of it. I think it came out. It makes it kind of cool. Okay, that one. And then, so I am just putting the decals on this. So if you guys are just jumping in, there are a few of the new rhinestone mixes still up on the website. I think, did I say 11? I think it said 11. Ooh, and I'm questioning whether it was 11. I think it said 11. 11 sets of those, the new glass rhinestone mix, okay, up on the website. And then there are, the squeeze bottles are 50% off. And then there's 5 new tumbler designs up today. Okay, I'm sticking the hummingbirds on first, and then I'm going to layer the feather, the words and I'm going to layer the words and the flowers over the top. So the words are going to go right here, and then the flower is going to go right here. They're going to get kind of covered up by the words and the flowers a little bit. You know me, I like a busy cup, so we're layering it up. Let's see, where is it? The live. Hold on. Live. Bring it up. Let's see where. Bring you guys up in comments up here. Hi. All right. So if you are going to get in there and get that glass rhinestone set tonight, make sure you do it quickly because it's almost sold out. Now, this is why I love UVDTFs. Look how easy these are. It's just like peel and stick. Peel them, rub them down, and peel away this. Oops, they speak. So we saved some baby birds today. We have a nest right outside our front door. It's a mama dove, and it was 3 babies. And then I noticed this morning that we always peek in there to check on them, and I noticed that their nest had broken apart, and they were literally just like perched, like kind of precariously on like 3 little sticks, kind of like 10, well, more like 10 little sticks. And so I was like, oh, because they're babies and they're so cute, and there's a baby missing. So I think something happened in last night, because it was fine yesterday. Something happened last night. Either a rat got in there and tried to get at him, or I have no idea what happened. But the nest is all broken apart. So we took a soup bowl. I reached in there, Mama got scared away, and I went to grab the babies, and they jumped out of the tree. Luckily, Vera was underneath. Vera and Jet were holding like a towel as a canopy, so one of them landed into the canopy. The other one actually kind of flew a little bit, but it didn't fly up. It can't fly up yet. It kind of flew to the ground. And anyway, and then the one that was in the towel went to the edge of the towel and then jumped off So then we had two baby birds flopping around on the ground, fluttering around all over the ground, trying to catch them. But I took a soup bowl, an old like a to-go soup, or we have a pho soup right by us, Vietnamese soup bowl. And we took one of the to-go bowls and I punched holes in it. We put the whatever little nest was left, we put down inside of there. And then I punched holes inside and I zip tied it into the tree so that they actually have a nest now. And then we had to catch the babies, and that took 20 minutes because none of us wanted to just like grab them real hard. But they were actually quite fast. So I was like, oh, they're pretty quick. And the mom was flittering and she was in the tree watching this whole thing go down. And we finally got them back in up there. And then one jumped out and then I had to recatch it and then put it in very carefully. And I like hid and I just kind of like, and put them in there. And then they stayed. And then after about an hour and a half, mama came back. And so they're all in there. So we say baby birds today. So they're all in their little soup to go bowl. But I'm like, oh, I don't feel like they're going to make it through another night like this. But the baby birds are almost ready to fly. They could flutter along the ground with their wings and stay out of grip, out of reach from us. Super cute. That was the adventures of this household. Adventures of homeschoolers. What did you learn today? How to save baby birds. All right. It's so funny because their charter school that we have them in homeschool through, they were scheduled for last week was spring break. So last week they didn't have their charter school. And then this week we have them in classes with this. It's like a learning center for homeschools. And so they were supposed to have their classes this week. But they're opposite. This week is that one's spring break. So my kids have like an elongated spring break of this week you don't have this, but then this week you don't have this. So it's a easy couple weeks. But I mean, my kids think homeschool is the best. So I love it. We'll probably leave it up to the girls whether they do homeschool next year or not. I don't know. We'll see what they choose. Okay, here we go. So this one, we're going to put the words on this side because I don't want to cover up a ton of the birds. Okay. So we're just adding these UVDTFs. If you have not started playing in UVDTFs yet, they're very addicting. These are great. You don't have to, because of these, you don't have to get like a Cricut machine because we have so many of these options. Okay, so you just put that down, rub it down, peel it up. There's a lot of little details on this one. I do not have my glasses on, by the way, you guys, and I just thought I had a pair in my pocket when I came down, and I didn't. So I can't see either. Everything is blurry. Okay, so I'm pulling up really slow. If when you're doing this, you're peeling this away, for some reason one of the letters or something doesn't stick down, pull up. Just roll it back down, rub it, and stick it right back in place. That's what I did with his little beak. The tip of his beak was trying to lift off. Okay, super easy. Now these are permanent bond, but I will still ultimately, oh, this is gonna cover up so much of that hummingbird. Not too bad. Covers up a lot of that one. I guess I could have done this guy first, or maybe I'll look for a slightly smaller decal. Ooh, or I could cut it in half and put the decal like right here, cut in half. Oh, that's pretty. We're going to do that. Just so I'm not covering all of the birds, I'm going to use only half of the decal. Okay. There we go. Doing half the decal. And I think I got it over this edge just a little bit, so we're gonna see what we can do here. I might ultimately slice this down lower. I think I will do that. I put a little too low down because I didn't want to cover up too much of the birds, so I went lower down than expected. So we're gonna pull these off. Oh, this is very funny to try to do this blind. I think I got it. See, this is where the pivot, being comfortable with a pivot. I didn't measure it when I decided to slice it. I just sliced it. Because I am the queen of the pivot. That's how I roll. What was I explaining to the kids today? Oh, working hard. We were learning about minimum wage and working hard. And I don't know where they asked so many questions. But we had a big, long conversation about minimum wage and what minimum wage is and et cetera today. Just driving along to go get Betty, talking about the wages. I tell my kids all the time, do not be in a rush to grow up. I was like, you know how you just gotta like hang out and your biggest responsibility is like doing some math problems and you see all the work mom's doing. Hi, Rolanda. We're doing really well. Really well. We're ready for Ivan to come live here in California with us permanently, but it's just not our life yet, quite yet. He's you should see the studio. They're getting ready to move the warehouse over to the studio. So he's been packing up all of my craft supplies because he's going to be bringing everything here. And then he's kind of reworked all the furniture and everything inside the studio to make room for the warehouse to move in there. And it looks so good. He's done such a good job. It's such a bizarre year for us. This is going to be the weirdest year. It's such a weird year to have like a 3-year-old and then have daddy not home all the time. And I watched a video. It was like how they're for like military, well, like coming home, and they're like, he's been gone for 90 days. And I was like, oh, that's us. I mean, we're at what? It was October, November, December, January, February. We're at 4.5 months now. That he's been on in a different. I don't even remember when was it? August, September. Oh no, must have been September. It was September because we got here at the beginning and then we had a couple weeks and then it was Halloween. So it must have been September because I don't really remember. It's such a blur. September, October, November, December, January, February. So we're at 5 months, 5 almost 6 months. It's been wild. Anyway, okay, so here we go. So we've got this one just says, money can't buy happiness, but it can buy books, which is the same. And then we got our hummingbirds. How pretty. Okay, and it's going to be Snowglobe. It's so pretty. Okay, I put the hummingbird on the butt. Okay, if you guys are just popping in, we're low energy tonight. We're just cruising. We're just chilling. How's everybody tonight? There's a new glass rhinestone mix on the website. Alyssa showed it on the live earlier. There was only 11 left when I came live. All right, we're gonna, I think we'll epoxy this tomorrow. Should we? Or just throw epoxy on it now? Let's just throw epoxy on it. Let's do it. Oh, Yes, I was gonna say, do I know where my foam is? All right. So earlier on the live, we filled it up. We sealed the bottom, put a little UV resin on there, got that all done. Now we've got the decals on, we got that butt on. So see how fast these snow globes can go? And then you can do the snow globe. In theory, you could call this one done, but you have to tell the person these are permanent bond stickers, but you cannot, they will scratch, they can get damaged. You got to treat this very, very gently. So I'm going to put it under epoxy so that it's a little bit more durable. It's also going to kind of seal it up even better for like possible leaks down the, yeah, I know, aren't they beautiful? Maybe I'll go back in through and reorder some of those hummingbirds. I'm always sorry guys, I took my mask off. I have to take it off out of the room because I have to walk out of the room all the way. But I have like 3 masks sitting here. Let me grab them. I was a little worried that this room hadn't cleared completely with the UV resin, but if it hadn't, I would already be having reactions. It's almost instantaneous for me. Hi, Sandy. All right, so you guys, if you wanted that glass rhinestone mix today, make sure you get in. There was only a few left. And then the squeezy bottles, these are on half price today, to fill your snow globes. If you know anybody that does snow globes, let them know.
So go get like 3 of these squeezies, put your liquids in them and label them. Makes this so easy. All right, we're gonna put epoxy on this tumbler. You want more dog balloons? That's the one that just went out, right? Okay. Sandy, will you send me a DM with that so I don't forget? Because I'm working on an order this week with her. Okay. Sorry, it was leaking for a second there. All right. I'm gonna do 15 milliliters. I probably only need 10, but we're gonna go with 15. This is just gonna be the first coat. We're gonna do a total of 2 coats. You always want at least 2 coats of epoxy on your tumblers. Hey guys, remember that time when I thought I was gonna switch to Crystalac? And then I realized how many gajillions of layers of Crystalac it needs. And I am not knocking Crystalac. It's a wonderful product if that's your only option, but I do not have the attention span for that. So we are back to epoxy. We have been for a while. I think we did 1 tumbler and we didn't even finish it because it was like on like the 12th coat and I was still feeling the glitter through it. And I was like, yeah, this is not going to be my jam. One. Two. Yikes, yikes. Okay, drizzled a little bit. Just realized Vera's squirrel. When I have a little extra, I'm gonna actually sealing Vera's squirrel. Vera's asked me a couple times for this. Oh, by the way, these come with plugs. You can see I used one on Vera. I did not on this one. This will be a good comparison. Okay, so I mixed 15 grams. I think I'm gonna have a little extra. We're gonna use it to seal Vera's cup for her. Right. Ooh, should I add a little bit of Bitty Bow to this? Or Walter? Okay. So y'all, if you're like, ooh, I'm bummed I missed out on this, you guys, we have a ton, hundreds of UVDTFs on the website. So if you haven't poked around, hi. Thank you, Leslie. If you haven't poked around on the website in the UVDTF section, go look. We have hundreds of UVDTFs available. All the brand new ones land in today's deals, but we do still have tons of UVDTF on the website. If you haven't shopped under today's deals in a few days, there's a lot of UVDTFs on 50% off as well. Okay, I think I'm going to put some glitter in here. I'm going to put a little bit of Dad Bod white opalescent. This is going to be our chunky white opal, just to add a little extra razzle dazzle on top. Okay. So this is going to get more than one coat. Oh, I love Walter in this. So you can use bitty bow, you can use regular bow, you can use any fine opal white, but this is a Dad Bod white, which I've been really digging putting this on. It's a little bit chunkier, so you get a bigger flash of sparkle, and it really stands out. And I'm kind of like, the more razzle dazzle, the better. So I have been really digging this big chunky glitter going into the my mixes. Normally I would just recommend going with like a fine, but these big Dad Bods have been real nice. Okay, I'm making sure that bud is well covered. I'm also going to come all the way up. I like these couple coats of epoxy, even though our UVDTFs are permanent bond. If you don't coat them epoxy, they are just so fragile, even though they're permanent bond. That means like to stick it on your mirror in your bathroom and leave it, it will be fine. That does not mean beat the heck up out of it, having it in and out of the sink getting washed and handled, and in and out of a cup holder, and in and out of a cup holder wherever you go, and just constantly being beat up. Permanent bond and indestructible are two different things. So I like to put a little bit of epoxy over the top, just so that we make sure that it's well secured and protected. Because like I said, mine go in and out of the car cup holders, and they're constantly getting beat up. So this just kind of protects it, so that's not going to scratch up all those decals. I am making sure this neck is getting really well coated. Okay, so there we go. That's going to rock and roll. Okay. Notice when I apply this, I always only use one finger. That is intentional, guys. That's so that I don't have to clean off my whole hand and I don't waste a bunch of epoxy. I just clean off that one finger and we're good to go. Okay, I am going to torch it just a touch so we don't end up with a bunch of micro bubbles. Just give it a quick little zhuzh. I don't want to overdo it, so that's why I did it. Now I'm letting the new area stand in. Okay. Okay. Now this will go behind me to cure. Why am I coating it with epoxy? Because I want it to have the decals to be protected. Even though the decals are permanent bond and like good solid stickers, this is going to be washed and scrubbed and go in and out of a cup holder. And, my kids are going to bang it into things. And having those couple layers of epoxy over the top just really protects all my decals and protects the integrity of the seal on the bottom, so it's less likely to leak. Because what you're about to see is another one of these beautiful snow globes that we do, and we glitter the butts like that. And if you only do that little small section with epoxy, hold on, I got, yeah. If you only epoxy this one little small section, the chances of this being banged into the table and it popping the seal and breaking and popping this out is really high. And so by putting epoxy over the entire thing, it really holds everything kind of in place and protects that seal and protects it from leaking if it gets banged and knocked around. I learned the hard way with my kids. I can't have nice things in this house. Especially with the baby. She wants my water bottle and she's gonna bang it and clang it. She wants to carry it. She wants to feel like a big girl and carry it. Okay, so we're just using our leftover epoxy here. This is my daughter. She did this with us on the live a couple months ago with me, and she keeps asking me about it. So I was like, okay. I was like, this is a perfect opportunity. It needed its butt done. Now, normally you'll see us because we're always in a rush. We will normally do that with UV resin and then pop it under UV light and cure it and it'd be done. But because I have leftover epoxy and we're not necessarily in a rush with this one, it can just be with regular epoxy, the leftovers, and now this will cure up overnight. And then our next step on this one is going to be, the next step on this one is going to be putting the epoxy over it. So, but my daughter created this one with you guys on a live with her little cute little squirrel. So yeah. All right. So for everybody that's popping in, hi guys, hi guys, hi guys. Sorry, chicken. There are the glass rhinestones. There was a few left. Sorry, this table is not level, but this back here is. So I'm gonna move that back there. There was 11 packs of the glass rhinestones up on the website today. There are 5 new tumbler designs up there. You can get them as a vinyl print, a sublimation print, or a sublimated tumbler. And then the squeeze bottle that we use to fill our Snowglobe tumblers, we put it on half price on the website today. So go get all your goodies. Thank you guys for hanging out. We're gonna let this guy rock and roll and turn, making sure we're level. I'm gonna still put stir stick under there. It looks a little off kilter. Perfect. All right, and then we will see you guys tomorrow. All right, see you later. Bye, everybody.